I will explain you now later how complicated these business networks have become and how critical for all of your life. So therefore, the analytic, in the old days, my profession was called system analytics. I was a system analyst. I was hired as a system analyst. That describes it very good. Today we have a lot of more fancy names, but in principle you are a system analyst. Sometimes you say also business analyst. You have a business analyst and a system analyst. And I will later explain how these two things have to work closely together to be successful. So you have to work with models and patterns and approaches, you know. But that's the same in mathematics, you know. Even if I think back to analytics, is integral, you know, and you know, you have to apply certain analytics. Also, you have to apply certain techniques and learn how to recognize which technique is most likely will solve the problem. And then over time you learn several patterns and techniques, and then you make your exam. But it's also to some degree it's you know, it's training, it's a toolbox you have. So same here, but you need a lot. You know, it's not just one or two. So it seems similar to you learn a lot over time, and then you apply them in other contexts. So I give you now some examples how critical these business networks are. So in the old days, everybody has had gold or some other goods to exchange. That was a very old time. Or you have money, you have coins. Nowadays, it's a credit card or a debit card. But this system is, in every nation in the world, is a very regulated system. It's an ATM network, or even a point of sales network. So how to pay with a credit card. Have you ever thought through how that works? It's really interesting, you know, that it works. That's the most amazing thing, mostly it works. So because end of the day, when you go to an ATM machine with your credit card is easy, I say debit card. It is based on your bank account information. But you don't have to use the ATM of the bank. You can go to any ATM. How does this work? So the real issue is, from here, from this machine, they have to go to the bank and get your bank account statement. They have to check that you have money in your account. It's definitely on the debit card. On the credit card, it's a little simpler because you have a certain credit limit that you can. So the credit card company gives you a certain limit of money, but at least it goes to the credit card company, and then you get your money. So technically, it's very ambitious. You have a machine here, you put this thing in, then you say, I want to have $1,500, and then suddenly the money comes out. But behind that, a lot happens. And most importantly, it's deducted from your account. You know? For them. You know, that happens. So this ATM network is very sophisticated because it links together all banks and all credit card companies. So even in China, in Taiwan, you can pay with American Express or Union Pay. So my Union, I want a debit card in China. My Union Pay debit card goes right away to China merchant banking. Wherever in Beijing or Shenzhen, and then they say, oh, this guy still has money. You know? And it works. That is so all you have to think about the networked society. So every point of sales and every ATM is linked to all banks. And in China, every bank transaction, by the way, goes to the Bank of China. They have even more control. So that is somehow it works. If this system is down, can you imagine what happens? Assume now, only for a second, the ATM of this banking system is down in Taiwan for 2 days. So then everybody was, something is wrong. I cannot get money. I cannot pay in the shop. You know, what would you do? You would get nervous. So therefore, it's a matter of national security. But, you know, and every bank who can develop core banking solution, who wants to integrate in the ATM network, you have a test with the government that your solution will not bring down the ATM network. So you see already the business networks are real and they are very important. So it's a matter of our daily life. If credit cards not working, you have a real problem. Assume you just fly to New York and then you land in New York and your credit card is not working. You cannot go to a hotel, you cannot get cash, and then so slowly but surely you get nervous. You know? So that is very important. But this goes even further than when you look at, you know, here we have written down how it really works. So this is how we document solutions. You know, you have different systems in different locations. Here's a union pay, for example. And then finally, this would be now Sheng Bank or Sheng Bank. And then there somewhere is your account information. Then it goes back. And all of this, by the way, has to go very fast. It's in 1 second. It's amazing. So only to give you some impressions. But you know, it's always nice if it works. It's more interesting if it's not working. Then, because if it works, there are no emotions. You know, but if it's not working, there are really emotions. So you go to the IT team here, they are really interesting. Union pay would also, you know, and then finally in China, after 2 hours, the government gets a notification. After 2 hours. After 4 hours, the government takes over the bank. And then latest, then SAP board would be alerted in London that something is wrong in China. And also then everything happens very fast. So also in China. So therefore these business networks are very important. Let's see. Hopefully we have no issue with that. So now just expand it a little bit because I see we have a lot of ladies here. So online, offline shopping is a new trend in China, especially. And yeah, I even saw the dating nowadays becomes complex. Even if you're on the same restaurant, maybe mobile phones. Mostly, I believe the ladies do online shopping and the guys watching soccer. I'm too old for that. But at the end of the day, you know, online, offline shopping. So in China, they have a new platform which is called WeChat. I don't know if it's also you can use it. So WeChat. So WeChat changes, for example, business models. Because in WeChat, and I know that most of you will put money on WeChat because you get a daily interest information. How much interest you get on the money you put on WeChat. But in principle, WeChat, by doing so, it's a bank. Because WeChat gives you money for your money you deposit there and gives you consumer loans for buying something where you have not enough money to some degree. So suddenly WeChat is a bank. That puts now all the banks in China on challenge because WeChat gives a higher interest rate than the bank. Because they have a, you know, it's kind of a snowball system in China. The more ladies shop, the more money comes to WeChat and okay. So that's one dimension. But next is you can pay with WeChat or PayPal in different ways to do it. And now there's a trick in China that what they do is on all the products you have this barcode. You know, big barcode. Then you scan the barcode with a mobile. And then you get the product information, maybe you get a promotion. So that's all still easy. But then I got shown how it really works. So a daughter goes to a shop, finds a pair of new nice red shoes, puts them on, photographs them, scans them, and sends their father, don't they look good on you? Just pay for me. So that is offline shopping, you know. So somebody can pay, not you. Okay. You can send this to via WeChat to anybody, and they can pay for it. Maybe that's good. You know. So therefore, this. But now, business model-wise, you know, this changes the world completely. Because in the old world, you know, there are China, these big mall providers, and they just monitor how much business they do. And for that, they have a central point of sales. So you cannot pay in the shop, you have to go somewhere to pay. And by doing so, they track how much business is done in the shop. But if you do online, offline sales, how do you know? So it has a lot of implications which have to be thought through. What is the business model for the mall, for the store guy? Because the lady does not buy that anymore. She takes only a picture home and says, "Mom, please pay." You know. So how do they know that it was in that store? Then how does the good come to the consumer? So that changes the whole business network and also the business models. So we have home delivery in all the cities in mainland China on e-bikes, and you know, so end of the day, the whole thing changes. So now you have to, when you are now a retailer, you have to think through, you know, how many stores do I have, how much online, offline sales. If I do, you know, online sales through e-commerce, where do I store the goods and how do I ship to the consumer? It's different because it has not to be in the store. So now even Apple goes so far, they say, I don't have the goods in my warehouse anymore. The suppliers ship direct to the consumer, so I can reduce my inventory. You know, it's only to explain you that these business networks are very sophisticated. So when you buy today an Apple TV in the Apple store, and Apple will ship it to you, the following will happen. So they will send a shipping notification to one of their suppliers. One could be BYD in Shenzhen or Foxconn, wherever. And then they ship directly to you. And they get only money when they ship. So they don't even get the money for manufacturing the TV. They only get money when they ship it to you. So you see, all these things are very interesting, but that is, you know, applied mathematics, because now Apple has a lot of money. They have a brand reputation to force anybody to work for them, even if they don't get money. They only get money when Apple already has the money. You know, so all these things play in the background. That is how to manage the business, how to manage the supply chain, how to manage the distribution chain, how to manage the link to the consumer. So this is a business network, but again, it's always good when it works, but it's not working. But you see that the world gets very connected. It's not, you know, so if the supplier cannot ship anymore, or the shipping notification from Apple does not reach the supplier, then you have a problem. So therefore we depend more and more on the level of automation, and the level of integration of business networks. But somebody has to know how this stuff works. You know, hopefully. Because in case of, you know, you have to fix it and how you operate it. So this is, by the way, that is more or less how a retailer works. It's called an omnichannel. It's like a blueprint, so now I scale it a little bit. You see how many interfaces they have, or whoever. And in the center you have now this retail solution. And then we have a lot of point of sales entries. You know, so that is a kind of system landscape we deal with typically. And just was recently at something. We had one supplier relationship management we made live, which had more than 1,800 interfaces. So now there comes another little problem. And that is, end of the day, all of them are, end of the day it's all about money and orders and materials, and so the data has to be precise. So, you would be amazed in your bank account, suddenly somebody says you have $5 less. Or you are more happy when they don't deduct it, but in principle, so you assume your bank account is accurate. But to be accurate, all of this has to work. So end of the day, or here, when you order something, you assume it gets shipped to you. So that means the data has to flow here from the point of sales, somewhere here, and then here you can have a shipping order, and it goes back. So end of the day, we can trace completely the business network. And we have to make sure that the data is accurate and consistent. That sounds easy at the beginning, but it's not. Because sometimes issues happen. So sometimes one of these interfaces is not working. So, and sometimes, for whatever reason, a transaction aborts, and then you have to manage data consistency across the network. You have to find out, do I have an error here? What does it mean to you having ordered a pair of shoes? And then you have a lot of exception processes. So that is only to give you some impression how that can be. And this is a real blueprint of a banking solution. So we made one core banking solution live in China, and it has 120 components. So also here we have a lot, in the bank especially, we have to check consistency. They have special measures, they say posting and counter posting. So we have to check and balance system, make sure that nothing gets lost. But all of this has to be processed. So a bank is obliged to create a bank statement every day. So more or less it goes to books every day. And every day you know the inconsistencies. And then you have to chase them. Is it now, because the payment is delayed or whatever. So that is interesting. And now in the middle I put here some additional information. Because for each of these components, each of them, 120 times, we have this stack. We have a user interface, we have an application, we have data, we have a runtime environment, middleware, operating system, server, storage. And now you can imagine, you are not allowed to be down more than 2 hours in a bank. So you have to manage this whole thing. Every day you have a complete bank statement where you have to report to the government each potential inconsistency. So that is interesting. And it took us only 3 years to make it right. So we have to put it in a lot of check and controls. But this is a general, So I can only tell you, for example, a database system, an operating system and a database system. Configure, each of them has more than 1,000 parameters. That's only on that 2 levels. So it's already 2,000 parameters you should have. Nobody can hold it. So therefore we have configuration checks and guidelines and procedures not working and what is not working. On the application level, in SAP, we have more or less, I would say, several million configuration switches, options. So, but again, we work always in patterns and models. Nobody would even know all of them, what they do and how they exist. So, Michael Fu has implemented a lot of these systems, but even he did not know all the patterns. possible to do. So therefore, you know, and then you have to also to look at different layers in the architecture. So here that's called the channels. That is more or less where customer interaction happens, either at the banking branch, or at an ATM, or at the internet banking, or mobile banking. So all of that is the so-called channel systems. Then you have the application layer. So here you manage gold, metal, whatever. China, everybody has gold somehow. Price was going down. It was not a good investment. Funds. Then you have your loans and whatever. And then then you have something here. I saw it already. You have, every bank is interactive with any other bank. And there's a SWIFT system, so it's called, that is linked together through a payment engine. Somewhere is a payment engine. Here, payment layer. Then we have certain banking products, and then you have the management layer where you do the accounting, and the profitability analysis, and reporting to the Bank of China. When you really want to understand this solution, it will take more than 2 days. To make it work, it took us 1.5 years to test and validate all these topics. So it's only to explain some of these complexities, but the foundation is the same, by the way. That's the interesting thing. And in computing, it's even more so. Computing, I don't know the English word, it's more or less a binary system at the very foundation. 1 and 1 is 0 or 10. That's how you look at it. 1 and 1 is 10 is 4. But on top of that, even in assembler, they work then simpler models. They have bytes, and they have in assembler, they have hexadecimal systems. So if you ever wonder yourself why you can teach hexadecimal system, that comes from the assembler mainframe work. But all of this is still today the foundation of every computer. The CPU is only doing this very fast. And every information, every text, at the end of the day, is translated in some string, binary code. So in mathematics, it's more or less the same. There was a saying, the only thing we got from God is the natural numbers, and everything else is made by man. And the same in computer, so it's absolutely the same foundation. So it's only computer can do very fast. Really very fast, and the speed is amazing, and we can now parallelize in many CPUs, and there's a lot of memory, so we can process data very fast. That's the only difference. So therefore, mathematical skills open the door to many professions. And mathematical skills are now this abstract thinking and analytical skills, working models, patterns, and so forth. It's not mathematics what you think when you only have understood companies. It's mathematics which you learn in a graduate program, maybe in a PhD program where you start to work to leverage all these models and stuff you learned. Use scenarios. Same here. Every day we have new scenarios. Every day we invent now new solutions to be able to manage with these IT business solutions, the society of the future. There is nobody in the world who is not impacted by this. Nobody. Like the ATM example, but there are many more. When you look at healthcare or whatever, everything gets digitalized. Even when you go in a car nowadays, and a car talks to you. So everything gets digitalized. So we have machine-to-machine integration. It's now what they call manufacturing 4.0 with maintenance. So more and more, everybody gets dependent on this stuff. But sometimes. When you think the worst case scenario in the world would be your computer stop at 8 o'clock in the morning, what would you do? And you would say, I do it manually. It's impossible to do. Because the computer can do a lot of work very fast. The computer was used to reduce cost in enterprises, which means you can do with less people much more. If this is not working, there is no way. You cannot do it manually. Impossible. You would have to go back 50 years. So the level of automation and integration would not work. So now also integration, these software solutions integrate suppliers, with manufacturers, with distributors, with consumers. So all this integration would be gone tomorrow. You have to go back to paper communication. So that would slow down everything. So that is at the center of our world. And there is no device or no thing anymore going forward without software. So even Google Glass, so that somehow is infiltrated by software. If you go cooking at home, I think most use at least the iPad for a valid recipe. But in the future, your pot, how hot it is, and it will talk to you if you overheat it and whatever. So all of that will happen. So these business networks are real today. We depend more and more on them. But we need people who understand them. And now that gives you an opportunity also to learn a lot of new skills. I want to come back to this business analyst and system analyst. End of the day, we support new business models. That is a little, and these are also created by mankind mostly. Like online shopping, online, offline, it's a new business model. And these business models have to be supported by IT systems, IT business solutions, because otherwise it cannot work. Taobao just went to New York, got $200 billion market capitalization, and end of the day it's all because they supported new business models. So somebody in Europe can order, gets manufactured in China, shipped to Europe or US. That is a foundation of that business. So it's an e-commerce, online, offline shopping platform. And so now the business world is more about business models and business networks. But the IT world is like mathematics, has to support. Otherwise, it will not scale and cannot work. So another similarity to mathematics. We are mostly a supporting function. But without us, it will not work. Because nobody can run a business network with millions of transactions per day without a computer solution. It's not possible. So therefore, we have a lot of similarities. The foundation is the same. The skills you need are mostly the same. And I have not even talked about how to develop it and build it, because now we have seen some of these architecture features. That's only one bank. Now I have to see how the business network works. And end of the day, everybody nowadays works in a number of directions, which will even increases. In the old days, a retailer was a consumer product company was only focusing on B2B, the business to business. They only gave their good to a retailer, and the retailer or the shop gave it to the consumer. So now the online sales takes this middleman out. So there's a good example now in China is Xiaomi. Is a big competitor of HTC. They only sell mobile phones online. But by doing so, they can offer them for half of the price, because the middleman disappears. So everywhere they want to get rid of the middleman. They want to directly link to the consumer. So that's a revolution of business model again. So the consumer product retail world is in a trouble. You can ask the HTC, they will be very concerned about China. So they also now want to sell directly to the consumers, same like Samsung. So So these new things